Hello, everyone. Welcome to the call. My name is Anna Krajicic, and I am a Sapphire Elite based in Canberra in our amazing business called Jeunesse. So the reason or the purpose for this training today is about getting our business off and moving at a faster rate. So in the last week, there's been some advancements and some developments with some team members, and I wanted to put that all together in a training for everyone so that we can hopefully apply what we're going to be learning tonight and help grow our businesses at a much faster rate. So I'm just going to share the screen with you and we'll get into it. So can you see the screen, guys? Just nod yes. If you can, perfect. All right, so building your network marketing business faster. So there's principles of success in our network marketing business. Hold on. Okay, so what are the principles of success in your network marketing business? Okay, so if I go back to sort of today dot, when your business becomes a must, that's when you're going to be able to do and shift and change towards building a business here. And in 2013, that was actually my office space, and it's so ironic because on the right side of that wall I had a vision board in my workspace, and I was the only one in that entire workspace that had a vision board, and it was all about trips overseas and all of this sort of stuff and an exciting life and all that kind of amazing stuff that I wanted to become, because here I was in this little office cubicle thinking and believing that life can be better, that this was not what I wanted. I would look at the people around my office and I would see stress levels, and I would see there would be office politics, and I just thought this is not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life or for the next 20 years or whatever. And then so I made some decisions to get me out of there, and I just burned my bridges. I quit. I actually quit and left the workforce with no job but a dream. And they gave me 3 months worth of income. They said to me, as soon as they gave me that 3 months worth of income, which was my bonus, I said, I'm out of here. So I gave them 4 weeks notice and I left. And look what happened in 2015. That was my office space. That was at the infinity swimming pool at the top of the Marina Bay Sands in Singapore. And it's just incredible how things change when you have a drive and when it has to be a must. So Okay, so I've had an incredible journey in the last couple of years with this business because I decided I wanted to take control of my life. So I've been to Dubai, I've been to Singapore, there's pictures of Macau. I've been on so many flights and to so many cities, not only around Australia, but I've also won, in my first year, I won the Rising Star Award in ACT, which you can see the top photo there on my right. So that was really, really exciting. And then the following year after that, I won Distributor of the Year 2015 third place for New South Wales. So it's proven that my decision was the correct one. So how do we build our businesses? And we've got to define first, what does network marketing mean? So I left that marketing there. Networking? What we do is we network. So network means we connect with others. We build relationships. We meet others' needs. We find a problem that someone may be having, and what we do is we solve problems. And the highest of all is that we talk to people. That's what we must do. We must talk to people. So what's the fastest way to build your business? So the fastest way to build your business is literally to pick up the phone, connecting with as many people as possible, being consistent and persistent. But there's a problem. Oops, sorry. Oh, I've gone too far. Hang on. Previous. I don't know how to get back. Oh, goodness gracious. Hold on. Sorry, guys, I have to go back. Jumped ahead of myself. Previous. Okay, so yeah, picking up the phone, that's what we have to do to be consistent in this business and to make our businesses grow, because we are a networking business. We work on relationships and we solve people's problems. We can't do that all digitally. To some aspect, yes, but to grow your business quicker, no, you must get personal, you must get on the phone. But here's the problem. Most people don't want to call. They're so afraid of the phone. They refuse to pick up the phone. And this is the number one cause that people end up leaving this business, because they don't apply themselves. They don't do the training. They don't learn the skills. This is like, when you go to university, it takes you 4 years to learn something, to learn a degree or to get a degree. And there's a lot of learning in the process. It's the same as this industry or this business. There's a lot of learning. And a lot of the top leaders in this business, they failed. They failed in the first year. So we need to give ourselves a minimum of 12 months. We need to learn the skills. We need to apply the skills. Now, the number one reason that people fail is that they don't overcome their fears. They jump into this business and they think, I'm going to make a lot of money really quickly. And when they see that that's not happening, they just quit. And when you quit in this business, look, it's just, for me, I think it's really, really sad, because people haven't given themselves the time, they haven't learned the skills, and it wasn't a must for them. If you want freedom, this has to be a must. You must overcome your fears. And the way to do that is by working on your fears. So by doing what you fear the most helps you to overcome the fears, because we realize that the fear is just something that's in our mind. And every fear that we have in our mind stems from an experience that we've had in our childhood. And I was listening to someone today about how to overcome fears, and because he's a very successful network marketer, don't recall his name though. He said that he would always ask himself, what would I do if I was 10 times bolder? And then he said he would do that, because every time you act upon a fear, you break that fear down, and then you realize that it was just a false evidence appearing real. That's what a fear is. It's false evidence appearing real. It's our fears that cripple us, that stop us from moving forward. And I'm actually reading in Think and Grow Rich, I'm actually reading in the fears section. It's actually really incredible. So the more you do it, the easier it gets. So you decide how successful you want to be by the actions you take. If you're not taking the actions, success can never come. If we enroll 5, 10, 15, 20 people, and then we expect to be able to sit back and twiddle our thumbs and the money's going to roll in, it doesn't work that way. We have to work on our business consistently until you get to the level that you want. For some people, it could be 20. For some people, it could be 50. For some people, it could be 150. So you have to work consistently on enrolling and on building your business. And if you keep doing that over a 2 to 5 year period, you will have success in this business. Because it's very easy to walk away, and it's very easy to say this is just too hard. And yes, it is hard, because you must change. You must become the person who has what you want. So you strengthen your belief through exposure. So the more, and also that's strengthening your belief through exposure means you must be exposed to information from this business. You must be exposed to trainings. You must be exposed to every Monday night webinar. You must be exposed to events. You must be exposed to Thursday's diamond trainings. That's because that's imprinting in the subconscious mind. And then through that, your belief becomes higher. Your belief then becomes fed and sustained, because it's kind of like emotional hunger. When you pull away from this business, you're going to pull away from the energy of the business. You're going to pull away from, which will pull away from your results as well. So we also remove emotional attachment from the outcome. So we all know that it's a numbers game. And if we have, and look, I know I started that way because we had such big hopes and we have such big dreams, but I'm kind of getting tough-skinned, because you have to be tough-skinned in this business. When we receive those no's, then people take it personally. And it's kind of like having a shop, because I had a shop, and I know Rick and Nella had a shop as well. Everybody that walks into your business is not going to buy from you. So do we take that as personal rejection when they walk out the door and say, oh no, I have to close my business, I have to close my doors, I can't handle this rejection? And we all get, how many calls do we get from salespeople, or everybody gets the calls from charities and agencies, and we say no. Most of the time we say no. Are those people going to just curl up in a ball and say, I can't do this anymore, I can't handle the rejection? Because they know it's a numbers game. They know for every 70 people that they'll call, they'll get one. So their outcome is really low, but they push through those no's until they get that yes. Okay? So everybody wants to be a millionaire, but nobody wants to do what it takes to be one. And it takes a lot of work. And it's not about the money, it's about the lifestyle that we can have. But we've got to do the work. So what's the work? What do we need to do to get that lifestyle? So the top earners in network marketing, when you look at those people on the stage and you ask yourself, okay, how did they get there? Now, every one of those was called by someone. And I remember this was a real pivotal moment for me, because I was at Macau. It was my first year. I think I was only in about 6 months, and I went to Macau. And I just went to Macau because I knew that I needed to get to every event. So I went to Macau, and I was listening to this one guy. I don't know what his name was. I don't even know what he was being awarded for. Maybe diamond, maybe emerald, I'm not sure. But he said that, and the very first thing he said was, I want to thank, and he said the name of the person, I don't know who it was. He said, I want to thank such and such for having the courage to pick up the phone and call me. My life has completely changed. Now, when you look at that scenario and that person wasn't called, he would not be on that stage. Does that make sense? It's such a moving thing, because you don't know whose life you're going to touch, whose life you're going to change by reaching out to people. And every one of those knows, it doesn't matter. Kathleen Degelman, who was who's a diamond within Jeunesse, she said no the first time. She was doing something else and she was happy doing something else, but then now she said she's so glad she said yes. So not every no is no forever. It just means no, not right now. It's just a timing thing. So, and everyone that walks the stages called people to get there. So can you see that, how that works? We have to reach out to people. We have to talk to people. This is a networking business. So it's time to go for no. We've got to step up and step out of the comfort zones, and we've got to go for no. And I was listening to Eric Worre, and he was interviewing Ray Higdon, and it was amazing. That's his story. Something switched and clicked for him, and he just went for no. He said he had a goal to go for 20 no's per day. And within 6 months, it got him to a 6-figure income. So he was earning about $10,000 a month. And he said he did it 7 days a week. He went for 20 no's per day. He called everybody anywhere, and we're going to go through where you can find people, where you can find numbers. So what does go for no, how does it help you with growing your business? Okay, so going for no eliminates the fear of rejection. If you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to say, well, I am planning on this being a no, I am going for the no's. When someone says yes, well, that's a double bonus, because you're going for no. So when someone says no, perfect. I've achieved in that call what my goal was, what my target was. So, and it's also just a thought process. So when you go for no's and you understand that this is what I'm doing, I'm going for no's, it's a thought process that releases the attachment to the outcome. Okay, so your emotional reaction is not tied to the result, because if it's either a no or yes, but remember, we're going for no's. It makes it a fun process. Okay, your reaction of a yes and no must be of equal emotional intensity. So no attachment, because then that's easy. So getting no is a relief. So when you get no, it's a relief, because yes, okay, I know, because we know that it's just a numbers game. We know that every no is going to get us closer to a yes. Okay, so getting yes is just the bonus. So bring it into the neutral zone. So the neutral zone is the non-attachment zone. Then it's the free zone. Okay, so, and have no goals, as in getting the no as the goal. So you've got to have, how many goals do you want? How many no's do you want? You've got to break it down weekly. You've got to break it down daily and monthly. How many no's are you going to go for? Because that's going to determine your results. Okay?
Yeah.
So where can we find numbers? Okay, so people say, well, where are you going to find all those contacts? Okay, so the phone book in the yellow pages is, there's businesses. So there's all sorts of different businesses. You've got to work out who's your avatar. Who do you want to work with? What sort of person do you want to work with? What industry do they work in? Who can you identify to work with? Look for them in the yellow pages, okay? So personally, I probably wouldn't call bricklayers, and they're in the yellow pages, but that doesn't mean a bricklayer won't be successful, but that's not my avatar, okay? Notice boards, wherever you go into shopping centres or doctors' rooms or hospitals or wherever there's a notice board. Like I went to a shop not too far away. Deb, can you put yourself on mute, Dal? So I went to the shops, and it was like a crystals shop, and there was a whole 2 walls filled with business cards. I took out business cards. I helped myself. I chose whatever I wanted, whoever I thought looked good, and I grabbed them, and I'm going to call them all after Easter. So newspapers. So remember, we're targeting people who are self-employed, and I'll go into that a little bit later. So people who are putting out their phone numbers are looking for work. They're a fantastic target market for our business. So newspapers, pin boards in yoga centres, pin boards in community centres, anywhere where there's pin boards where somebody's advertising their opportunity, their business. Markets, fetes and stalls. I'm successful in this business, and I used to do markets, fetes and stalls with my candle business. I would have been a perfect candidate for someone had they picked up on my business card from one of my places where I was doing stalls. You see, so markets, fetes and stalls, because those people work really hard. They get up early, they go out, they're selling either their homemade products or their bought products, etc., at these sorts of places. They'd be perfect for offering them this opportunity. So other businesses, generally I'm targeting small businesses because I know how hard it is to be a small business owner. I know that as a small business owner, you do it all. You have to do it all yourself, and it's very hard. So car signs. How many phone numbers have you seen on car signs when you're driving past a car? People are promoting their opportunity. People promoting their business. Take a photo of their car. Take a photo of their number. So, and mailbox marketing. How many people get Avon brochures? How many people get real estate agents brochures in their mail? Perfect opportunity, perfect place to grab a phone number. Okay, so anybody that's targeting your letterbox, you can target them back. So what categories to look for? All right, so 90% of the people in Jeunesse that are successful come from these 5 categories. Okay, I come from 3 of them. Okay, so direct sales and party plan. Somebody who's got direct sales and party plan experience. So if you know people in party plan, or if you can get a directory of party plan in your area, now we'll focus local, okay? Because I've built a national and international business, but it's very hard for me to work with my team. I have to do it all digitally. What I'm really missing, and what I would really love to enjoy, is a local experience, a local team. So therefore, because then you can meet these people for coffee. Someone says yes, they're interested, then great. Then you can send them the information, do a follow-up call, then you can go and meet them personally or invite them to your local event. So you can build more of a personal experience in your local area. So anybody with network marketing experience, and I've had network marketing experience also. So you can target, how do you find someone with network marketing experience? Well, you can look up groups. You can look up network marketing Facebook groups and look at the people that are in there, that are posting in there. Who's in your area? Because you can click on their name. You can go and check out where they live, etc. So you can do a bit of research. Also on LinkedIn, you can find. That's what I forgot to put. I forgot to put LinkedIn in the other category. high ticket sales commission. So anybody that works in real estate or insurance sales, people that are dependent, or car salesmen, people that are dependent on commissions to get their certain levels of income. They're the perfect people. Self-employed business owners. I was one of those as well. See, so I came from 3 of those categories. So self-employed business owners, they're always looking for some relief. They're driven. If a person is self-employed and have their own business, they know what it takes to run a business. They sleep very little generally and work a lot of hours. So they're the perfect people. And also, the last category, people in the fitness industry, or people who look after their physical appearance, and also beauty in the beauty industry. So people who get Botox, or people who get a lot of treatments, or that kind of stuff, they would be perfect for this. If not from a business perspective, then from a product perspective, because we still want our customers. Okay, so that gives you a category that shows you where you can look. Okay, so what to say. Now, I tested this myself last week, and you know, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't done it cold. Well, I did some cold calling at the start when I started this business, and I didn't know what to say, and I was saying it all wrong, so I didn't do very well, and I just put the phone down and I said, I can't do this. It was just so hard. But now I've got more tools up my sleeve, and we've got some team members who are using this right now and getting some great results. So this is the script that I used. Now, I called a few people on Thursday, and this was Thursday towards 5 p.m. and I was just so scared, and I just thought I had to do this, and I kept putting it off. Because I haven't done it before, or not like this. So then I just bit the bullet. I knew that I had to do this. If I want to excel in my business, I don't have an option. This is not an option. This is a must. Okay, so I just called a few people. I looked for people, local businesses in my area on Facebook. I wrote a bunch of names down. The first person I called went to voicemail, but I didn't leave a voicemail. The second person I called went to voicemail. Third person I called went to voicemail. Fourth person picked up the phone. And this was a woman that I targeted from also Facebook, small business. She's a graphic designer. So I said, hey, I think her name was Jeanette. I said, hey, Jeanette, this is Anna Krajicic, and I can hear all this background noise, and I say it. What I want you guys to do is I want you guys to be upbeat. I want you guys to act like you're talking to a long lost friend. If you've got high energy, people are going to think, oh, do I know this person? Because she's acting like she knows me, basically. So I said to her, oh, did I catch you at a bad time? I said, I can hear all this noise in the background. She goes, oh, look, I'm just picking up my son. He's just come home from camp. I said, oh, have you got a quick sec? She said, yeah, that's fine. I said, okay, look, I saw your details on Facebook, and I just wanted to ask you a very quick question. So is that okay? Just if you've got a couple of seconds, sort of basically. She goes, yeah, that's fine. I said, great. I said, look, and I did add this part as well, because I do have success in the business. And so I also said, well, listen, I'm a successful entrepreneur in Canberra, and I'm expanding my business in the area. So I have a question for you. Do you keep your options open to other streams of income alongside of what you're currently doing in graphic design? And then I stopped. And she said, well, yes, I am. And I went, wow. I thought, wow, that's awesome. I said, okay, well, wonderful. Like I said, what I can do is send you some information. I'll just need an email, and you'll know if it's a fit for you. So then we can hang on. So you'll know if it's a fit for you, and then we can chat some more. So I said, what's your best email address? And then she gave me her email. I wrote down her email. I said, fantastic. I said, you'll need about 30 minutes. How soon do you think you'll be able to watch it? She said, oh, look, I'll be able to watch it over the weekend. And I said, perfect. I said, so when is the best time? This is what I said to her. When is the best time to give you a call? She said, look, Wednesday would be the best. And I said, fantastic. So I'll send you an email, and I'll give you a call on Wednesday, and I look forward to chatting with you. And that was it. Then the next person I called, same thing. They said yes. Fantastic. So I just went through that process. I got their email as well. The third person I called, he was a naturopath, and he said, but I also put a little bit of, asked him some information. I said, so what suburb do you live in? Because I wanted to know where they are geographically around me. And this woman just lives a couple of suburbs away. And I said, oh, awesome. I live in Gilmore, because it's creating a bit of common ground, a bit of personality. I don't want to be mechanical. I don't want to be like a salesperson over the phone. I want to be friendly, and I want to be open. I want to just have a connection with her. So then the third person, he said he was a naturopath, and I could hear that he had an Asian accent. And I gave him this spiel, and he said, yes, I am open as long as it's not network marketing. And then straight away, because I've got the skills now, straight away I went into reminding myself of Eric Worre's objections. So when someone has an objection about network marketing, it usually associates, well, they have an experience. The only way someone can have an objection to something is if they've experienced something negative in there. So I said to him, oh, wow, so you have an experience. What happened? Okay, so then straight away went into the conversation, and he was saying, well, look, I did join some company, and I really struggled, and I got nowhere, and I swore I would never do it again. And then that was then when I said, you know what, I know exactly how you feel, because I felt the same. But this was different. This is different. I've never experienced such an amazing result in network marketing. I failed too, because I failed in other companies. And he says, well, what's your product? And I said, well, look, it's adult stem cell technology based. So we're a world first, and the world's just going crazy over it. So I'm piquing his interest. And then he wanted a little bit more information. And I said, well, look, let me send you an email. And I said, great, look, I'll send you an email. And then he said to me, he was then trying to sell me. He said to me, so what problems do you have? I said, well, I don't think I've got any. He goes, oh, that's not true. He goes, everybody has some ailments. And I said, well, ever since I've been using these products, I said, I've never felt so good in my entire life. So therefore, I was pitching again. So I've sent him an email as well, and I'll follow up with him. Okay, so this is a technique. So you can personalize it a little bit to yourself, and you just hit this one over and over and over. So I guess, guys, at the end of the day, you've got to decide. It's your business. You've got to decide how much you want it, okay? And you've also got to understand there are countless people out there waiting for what you have to offer. There's countless people. And it's just like panning for gold. If you go panning for gold in the rivers and you've got to go through all that rubble, it's so easy to say there's nothing here, I quit. But you've got to go through the rubble. You've got to go through you've got to go through the numbers, through the process. You've got to go through the pebbles before you can get the jewels. Okay, so what if you can change someone's life forever and their family's life because you were brave enough to call them? And I got that from that call, from that appearance in Macau. So Ray Higdon, if you watch Ray Higdon's post that I shared with how he turned 20 no's into financial freedom in 6 months, I posted that in our team chat. So he went for 20 no's per day. It can change your life. So, and it's just a shift in belief by a shift in action. When you start applying yourself, when you start moving towards the action, things start to happen, okay? So getting where you want to be as well, you've got to decide what your financial goal is and work it. All right, you've got to work it backwards to see what you need to do to achieve it. For example, if you want to be Sapphire Elite, okay, so you need about between 50 and 80 personally enrolled to hit Sapphire Elite. If you want to be Ruby, you need about 80 to 100 personally enrolled. If you want to be Diamond, you need 100 plus personally enrolled people and 6 Sapphire legs. Okay, so what is that? How many calls do you need to make? If you enroll one person out of every 10 that you speak, how many people do you need to speak to enroll 100 people? And is it worth it? Okay, so how many calls or contacts will that require? And that's how many contacts and how many calls you need to make. So set your targets and goals towards your freedom, guys, because it's so worth it. So here's another. This is for cold market social media. Okay, now I tried this when I first saw it, which was probably about 18 months ago. But I was still new and I still wasn't sure how to do it, how to follow up or anything like this. But this is a great little script for cold market social media. Okay. And because I did this, I met one woman and she said to me, she goes, look, I'm actually very successful myself, but I know a lot of people. She wrote to me, that was over 18 months ago. The other person I've now formed a relationship with, and she is a businesswoman with a huge social list. So this is the results, but I didn't do a lot of this. I just kind of tested it, but it works. Okay. So you would write, hi, and then that person's name. Your status came up in my newsfeed, so I checked out your profile. We're both from Sydney. So I use Sydney as an example. We're both from Sydney. Wow, have we met before? Love your profile pic, so funny. So for example, you have to go through their profile. You have to have a look at something that you like about them. You must compliment them. So compliment on them on their profile picture, compliment them on one of their posts, compliment them on their cover photo. You have to find something you like about that person. So you'd say, anyways, I thought I'd go out on a limb and reach out to you because I'm an executive recruiter for an adult stem cell technology. I missed company. Sorry, guys. I'm an executive recruiter for an adult stem cell technology company headquartered out of Orlando, USA, and we're expanding in the area. You seem really sharp. Do you have an openness to making extra money? Okay, so I can send out this script for you, if anybody wants it, or I can post it up on our team Facebook page. But people who are open to making extra money will respond to that. They'll be curious. They'll want to know more information. So if you sent this out to 10 new people per day, and now the problem with when I started doing this was Facebook was posting messages into people's message bank or messages, but then they stopped doing that. So we had to pay $1 to Facebook for them to actually push this message into that person's messenger so they could see it. But now Facebook is notifying that person that they have a message. So, but sometimes people don't see it, so it could go into the other person's filtered folder. So that's the only thing that where you might miss. But for example, on any other social media platforms where you can actually message people, especially LinkedIn, people will see it. Okay, so at the end of the day, guys, you have to count on yourself. You have to count on you building a business. Okay, because look, it can be very disappointing if you're enrolling people that aren't doing anything. Okay, but we have to. So if we're enrolling people that aren't doing anybody, and everybody has them, I have them, everybody has them, it just means they're not the right people. So it's a numbers game. You just keep enrolling, If you have a target and a goal to hit 100 people, even if it takes you 2 years to hit 100 people in your business, you will create an income. Okay, you will replace your full-time income plus. Okay, so focus only on your activity, not your downline's activity. Okay, we can't push people to success. They have to push themselves. All right, but we can keep enrolling. We can do that. So your actions are what creates your results. So if you go for 20 no's a day, or whatever you're doing, if you're piquing interest and people saying, well, yeah, I am curious, that means you're doing the right steps. You're getting, it says, who said that? Somebody said, it might have been Ray Higdon, I think. He said, say less to more people. Say less to more people. Don't get into conversations. Say less to more people and let the links do the talking. Then you do the follow-up. Okay, it's the process. The follow-up then you put the people on a three-way call. Let someone else close for you. Okay, and eventually leaders will emerge in your business. Okay, so if you're getting affected by the results in your business, because I do too. It's just normal. It's natural. Okay, because we all want to get to the top, but don't let your results. It just means you need to focus more. You need more people, because, and this is what Craig Schultz said as well. The way to get out of any slump is focus on the next 10. Focus on the next 10. Focus on the next 10, because out of the next 10 that you put in, 2 will do something, and one of those is a potential leader. Okay? So basically just go for it, guys. Remember why you joined. Remember why you're here. If you ever need a little bit of motivation, I mean, this is the only industry that I know of that creates a freedom lifestyle. It's the only industry that I know of. It's the only industry that I know of or the only industry that's given me those experiences of traveling overseas. I'm about to pack my bags to head off on my fifth trip, my fifth free trip. So what I'd like to do now is call upon a couple of people who have actually been using this method and this technique, okay? And I want you to listen to what their results are. So Lisa, could you please share with us, because Lisa's been doing amazing. It's actually inspired me to start doing this and inspired me to help you guys with this technique and with this method, okay? So Lisa, share your results. How many calls have you made?
Okay, so I'm quite happy with myself.
Great.
So I haven't recruited yet, but so basically over a 3-day period, I've made 54 calls. I've sent 26 links and 19 messages. And look, I'm having trouble getting the no's. I've got 9 no's. So basically from 54 calls, I've sent links to half of them. And I've got one serious lady who was really interested, which is good. So it's still, a lot of calls, but and I've got a lot of follow-up to do. But I've been really, really pleasantly surprised because I was terrified to call. I really was, but I needed to do something, and I don't have money to. I've told a few of the crew that I haven't had money to campaign. I needed to do something though, so I just decided to get on the phone. And I remember the first 2 calls. I sat there for 10 minutes psyching myself up. But you know what? I was so surprised because they've been really nice people, and instead of psyching myself out now, I've got to a point where I'm happy just to pick up the phone. I get a little bit nervous, but I'm not scared anymore. And I know it does get easier and easier. And like I've chatted with you, I really need to do some work on closing and follow up. But at least it is a numbers game, and I've been really surprised with how many people are open to. Yes, I do have to quickly say, this one lady said to me, she said, when I got on the phone to her, she said, I can't believe it. She said, when I got your phone call, I was actually on the internet that morning looking for ways to make money online. And I said, must be a sign. And so she happened to be looking. So you just never know. You just never know. But, but I know Nella and Kenny have been on the phones too, and that's inspired me. Everyone's inspiring me. But you've got to pick up that phone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa, because Lisa actually inspired me. Lisa and Kenny inspired me. This is how it's happening.
Yeah.
We're a team, guys.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I've been really impressed with the results, and not too many. I'm struggling getting the no's, which is really good. Yeah.
See what happens? And exactly like Lisa said, she was sitting there for 10 minutes, and I was doing everything else but picking up the phone, and I just thought I was going to pass out. Seriously. I had major fear to pick up and cold call. Yeah. And then I said, geez, damn it. And I just kept visualizing myself on that stage. I want to be on that stage. I want to make $25,000 a month. I want to change my life. I want to change my family's life. How? Yeah. And if getting over the fear of picking this up is the reason that I'm not getting there yet, then I need to overcome that. And the quicker I overcome that, the quicker I will get there. Now, you can either do it the slow way and build your business over 5 or 10 years, but you will quit way before that. Okay? Or you can bite the bullet, suck it up, get over your fears, make those calls, go for no.
Another thing I did, Anna. Oh, you there? Another thing I did was on my screensaver on my computer. I had my script in front of me, but on my computer, I also had a picture of my dream house while I was making the calls. And I looked at it thinking, that's how I'm going to get there. And I would watch the picture of this house while I called.
See, guys, you've got to get yourself into state. Tony Robbins says, You get yourself into state. Now, state means psychological, physically. What's the word? I can't think of what he called it. But everywhere, you're physically. So if you run around the block before you make calls, you will be in peak state. If you drop down and, I don't know, do 20 push-ups, you will be in peak state. If you watch a video that's so inspiring and motivational, you will be in peak state. So you must get yourself into that state. Then eventually, when the calls become automatic and the actions become automatic, you will automatically get yourself into that state before you make those calls, because there's no emotional attachment to the outcome. When there's no emotional attachment to the outcome, you can call 1 million people. It doesn't matter. So Kenny, where's Kenny? Is he still on? Kenny? Oh yeah, Kenny. Okay, so share your story, because Kenny was doing the same thing, and he was motivating people in the chat. He was saying, "Come on, guys! Come on, guys!"
Yeah, well, yeah. So yeah, like Lisa was saying, you know, like for example, how we were doing our campaign, and like most of us haven't got money to always do that, so pretty much I got the link with the interview with Ray Higdon and Eric Worre, and that just, you know, I should have started doing this from probably a month ago, I reckon, because the people that I've rang so far, I've put it down like 30, but I've rang only 15. But the first 3 that I rang, no word of a lie. Can anyone hear me? Yeah, no word of a lie. I got 3 yeses straight away. And I just went through that script like Anna and Lisa were saying. And they was like, I was surprised myself. They were interested, like, yeah, I'm willing to know more about what you're offering. So what I did as well is sent them the links. I just made it quick. I didn't like try to explain myself what it is. I just, you know, I'll send you these links. It goes for 40 minutes. You know, when would you be able to watch it? One of them actually rang me back because they weren't answering. They were picking up. So the guy, he's a carpet cleaner, and he rang me back, and pretty much I went through the script, and he was so keen. Oh my God. Yeah, he was so keen that he knew straight away what I was on about. He knew what it was. I didn't have to tell him. Because I actually told him, are you interested in alongside what you're doing, like we were saying, currently doing your cleaning? And he goes, I'm interested in anything that involves making extra income. So, because I know he's pretty busy on the carpet, and pretty much he wants to get his wife on board. I'll have to call him on Tuesday, and because he's already watched the 40-minute video that I sent him now, and also sent him the comp plan, and which I think he will sign up because he wants to get out of that business that he's doing at the moment. So yeah, I've rang 15. What I've got is about 5 yeses, and the rest were no's. So I was surprised, like Lisa, like, you know, I'm going to do this. I have to do this. I have to do it, because if you don't do it, guys, it's not gonna propel your business forward. So doing this, guys, like I watch Eric Worre and Ray Higdon all the time, and they explain me as well to just go on the phones, because if Ray Higdon can do it, everyone else can do it, guys. They've come to a situation where they've been rock bottom, and they've got their own stories, and that's, the way I look at it. Should start calling guys, and yeah, like Anna said, your business will propel forward. So
thanks, Kenny. Good job. Rick and Nella, they're doing calls as well. You want to share your story? You have to yep, there you go.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm a bit unwell at the moment. Yeah, I haven't done that many, but Kenny did inspire me the other day, and then, of course, Lisa. But I did 4 calls, and I got 4 yeses, and I've sent 4 videos, so that was pretty good. And then I got sick, so I've been sick the last few days, and then we had people here all day today. So I'm ready to collapse at any minute.
No.
I'll be back on the phone tomorrow for sure.
Just want to let you know, I don't know if you can see that. That's the list we've made of people to call. The top 4 up here are the responses that we've got. And when we're going to follow them up and so forth and so on. So we're trying to get organised and get this thing going,
Probably
baby.
need to make it a bit bigger, actually. It's a little bit small,
It's a bit
but
small.
that's okay.
Good,
That's
good
okay.
first one.
Yeah. It's a start.
I'll be back on the phone tomorrow for sure.
Tomorrow, yeah. So with each call, with each day, it's like building muscle. You'll just get stronger and stronger. You'll know what to say. It'll just roll off your tongue instead of. I sat there as well. Look, here's my script. I sat there as well with my script and going, thinking, oh gosh, how am I going to do this? But I did it, and now I'm just going to keep going. I mean, look, one woman I sent information to. She said yes, she's a baker, so she makes little cupcakes. So she said she was open to it, and I said, well, when's the best time I can give you a call back? She said, look, if I'm interested, I'll call you. So, but at least I've got her email. And see, that's one of the strategies that we do is we get the email so that we can then keep communicating with them later down the track. Okay, because you can enter their email addresses into JMobile. And put them as for example, under maybe cold calling prospects category campaign or something. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to collate and collect information, because then later down the track we'll work out on how we can do the autoresponders and all that sort of stuff for them. Yes, Snella.
I just wanted to say, for anyone who's feeling apprehensive about it, and we all do, it's really amazing how people just say yes, because everyone's looking for something different. Everyone's trying to better themselves, and they're really quite open to looking at something, to looking at something new. So don't be scared, guys. Just ring. Just make the call.
And we're also saying, are you open? That doesn't mean we're not saying, can you give me your credit card, on the spot. Are you open? And that is a soft, subtle approach to prospecting. We're not saying, do you want to? Are you looking for? Are you open? Are you open to doing something outside of what you're currently doing and then you personalize it by telling them where you found them, so that you're not so threatening. You show them, tell them where you found them, and then, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, where you found them, and plus you also you mentioned that are they open to doing anything outside of what they're currently doing. So you mention what they're currently doing, so it personalizes it them. It's not like a script that's just automated and goes to anybody. You're personalizing the conversation directed to them. Is anybody else done any?
Rebecca and Aaron have done it in our team, Anna.
Okay, Rebecca, would you like to share?
Hey, we did the 20 no's sort of thing, so challenge. Aaron started on Wednesday, and I think because it was Easter weekend, no one was really answering, so he just left a lot of messages. I had a bit more success. I did about 30 calls. Out of that 30 calls, I got 25 yeses, which I'm going to follow up next week. So I rang them. I started on Tuesday, rang them on Thursday, and a lot of them said, I haven't had time, but they're going to watch it over the Easter weekend. So I follow up on Tuesday and Wednesday next week.
Okay,
I had only one lady that was extremely rude and was just like, oh my God, I can't believe you people are just calling me. But that was actually pretty funny in the end. And I actually had a telemarketer call me, and I let him have his spiel and stuff like that. And I thought, you know what, I'll just ask, I said, look, I know you're busy and I'm pretty busy too, obviously, but, are you open to any form of other income with what you're currently doing? And it was like, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, if you're great on the phone and everything, and this is part of it if you were looking at it, but at least it's building your own money instead of someone else's. And he had my phone number from the call center, so I said, just text me your mobile number and I'll send you a link if you're keen. And he did. He finished his shift and sent me a text and was like, oh, hey, Beck, it's Jeffrey. And if you can send that link, that'll be great. So I'll catch up with him next week. That was pretty funny. And then yesterday I went to the shops and there was a lady that was handing out, you know, those win a trip, free trip kind of thing, but you have to go to an event first before you get it. And I sort of walked past and drummed up the courage, go away, and came back out of the shops and was like, well, you know, how does it work for you? Do you get paid hourly or is it commission? And she was like, oh, no, it's commission. And I was like, oh, okay. So, and just got talking with her, and I was like, well, have you ever thought of, you know, doing something on the side from home, like a home-based business? And she was like, well, I have, and I've been looking and everything. So, yeah, she got my phone number and everything, and she's looked at Janess already. With that. So, yeah, so she'll get back to me and everything. So I thought, yeah, they're probably good people to target because they're already doing someone else's networking instead of their own. And if you point out the fact that, you know, you're making money for someone else but not really for yourself for the long term, it made her start thinking about it a bit more. So yeah, that was pretty good. I was pretty excited and proud of myself.
And Rebecca, how do you feel about going through this process?
Oh, it's really good. Like when I first started the cold calls, obviously really nervous, as everyone is. I did about 20 jumping jacks first and then ran around being stupid because I was like, well, if someone's seeing me now, it can't be any worse on the phone. And then, yeah, just got into it and was really pleasantly surprised that, you know, the majority of people were like, well, yeah, I am. And yeah, it just made a really good day. It was a good momentum day, and it started the process of actually wanting to talk to people in person and say, have you thought about something? So, yeah, it's been a big learning curve, but a lot of fun.
Exactly. And has it empowered you now within this business, in this industry?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it's taken that step again in the full belief of the whole business that this is achievable and for you and things like that. And like you always say, that's the hardest mentality block to overcome, and finally doing this is starting to do that. So
okay, wonderful. So can you see, guys, this is why I wanted to do this call. I did not want to wait till the next week. I want us to start moving and then I want us to be accountable to each other, and I want us to post your results in the chat, or we might even do in our team Facebook group, we might even just start posting results there, because if we can inspire others to do so, to start taking action towards their business, your businesses will kick off. And this is really basic skills. We don't need a lot of skills. We just need a script that you personalize and you practice. And then this can help you with your business. You don't need to do marketing. You don't need to do Facebook marketing. I mean, you can do a lot of different things, but this is free for your local area. Free prospecting, okay? And we've just started, so it could take some time to get some results, but wow. And I'm actually going to give a prize to the first person who enrolls someone with this method. All right, I'm actually going to post that because you guys are inspiring me, and I'm going to get bigger results. And you guys are awesome. If we can inspire other people to start taking action in their business. This is recorded, guys. Send this to your teams, and let's make 2016. I want this team, our team, this team, to be the #1 fastest growing team with Janess Australia. Okay, guys, we're grouped together where we've got each other. We're going to support each other. We're going to grow. You know what, guys? I'm tired of traveling the world by myself. I want you guys by my side. Get cracking. Get those numbers. Every opportunity, every person out there is a prospect.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. I want friends with me on the cruises of the world and on these overseas trips. I want to see you guys on stage in Orlando. Get cracking on the calls, and you can do it. All right, guys?
Yes.
So awesome. To anybody that's watching this as a recording, if you've got any questions, please reach out to me, guys. We're here to support you. So We can do this. We're amazing. Believe in yourselves and your business will show up. Your results will show up when you believe in yourselves and you take the action. This is an action-based business. It's not a sit down on your butt and wait for things to happen business. Okay, guys? All right. Love you all.
Love you
I
too.
like you.